Sweet baby Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus. Stephanie White. Stephanie White. That's my voice for Stephanie White. I was a large critic of one Stephanie White last season. I did her press conferences and I exposed the fraud that she has been for quite some time for last season and beyond. And Stephanie, I tell you, you got a month before, less than a month before training camp begins. You have a free agency window that's starting in April. You've got a draft to prepare for. You've got player designations for protection, for expansion drafts to prepare for, and all of that. And Stephanie is deciding that she would rather be a broadcaster for the NCAA women's basketball tournament. This is real. She decided that she wants to be a women's basketball broadcaster. Interesting. You cannot make this up. It is March 23rd. She is calling the South Carolina USC game tonight. Can only imagine if she's covering the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 too. Trying to figure out what makes her qualified to do this. But she is in South Carolina as an ESPN game analyst. WNBA season is starting on May 9th for her. The draft is April 13th? Camp starts April 17th, 18th, 19th, something like that. And I know that's a few weeks away, but isn't there preparation that goes into putting all these things together? Shouldn't it appear at the very least that you care about your, actual job? Stephanie White makes you question her every single day. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball. Powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Like the video, subscribe, leave your comments. Those likes, those comments are so very, very important to our success. Women's CBA is done. It's been signed today or voted on today by the players. They have approved it. So I guess now the lawyers will put the paperwork all together and they'll have their little thing that they got going on. So here it says she is making a career move before the Indiana Fever season. She's taking her talents to the NCAA tournament. She, the Fever coaches in Columbia, South Carolina at Colonial Life Arena for the first and second round games on Saturday and Monday. She will call the two first round games, number 1 seed South Carolina versus number 16 seed Southern, and number 9 seed USC versus number 8 seed Clemson. You know what's funny? I watched the USC Clemson game. Didn't even notice that she was on the broadcast. Maybe because she had nothing to say. Maybe she was saying, I should have noticed it. I don't know how I didn't notice it, but I watched the game. Shows you how uninspiring she is and how unnoticeable she is in her job, just like on a basketball court where she's unnoticeable in doing her job. Folks, this is wild. It's wild. I've never seen or heard of anything like this in my life. You would think that you're sitting down. This is after she was an assistant coach for Team USA. where she was probably integral in making sure Caitlin Clark stood in the corner a lot. But what exactly is she jumping onto broadcasts right before the season as you're going into? Look, if they had to have this CBA headache and all that stuff and everything hadn't been pushed back, you would have already had the draft. I mean, in terms of the expansion draft and free agency would have already been done. Then I would say, yeah, no big deal. But you don't have that luxury this time. You have to have all your chips in place, all your ducks in a row, and know exactly what you're going to be doing. And maybe she has nothing to do with that, which should concern you in itself. That she has nothing to do with the construction of a roster that she's supposed to coach. Even though most of us can't stand her and wish she would disappear off into some black hole and never come back because we feel like she's destroying Caitlin Clark's basketball career. Apparently, she has done basketball coverage in the past since 2007, calling an NBA game with the Raptors and Magic. How can she call an NBA game? I have no idea. But it's very odd. It's very odd. I don't know what y'all think about this. You have a team here that is here to compete or should be here to compete at the highest level. You don't know what's going to happen with certain players. You don't have any idea in terms of what the Fever is doing, how they're going to approach Caitlin Clark, how they're going to approach the Kelsey Mitchell signing, how or not signing, what other players they might be looking at. You don't know any of this stuff. And instead, she's watching college women's basketball with 2 weeks before the expansion draft. Yeah, that's what she's doing. The expansion draft is actually the date specific is so April 1st to 5th to finalize player protections before the draft on April 6th. It's March 23rd. There are so many things that go into making decisions like this. You have a free agency where you're going to offer qualifying offers to restricted free agents and core eligible players. Negotiations begin, that's on April 7th and 8th. Negotiations officially begin April 9th, and players can formally sign deals on April 12th. This is something that typically takes 3 weeks, and they're doing this in 3 days. Think about it. They're doing this in something that takes 3 weeks, they're doing it in 3 days. And she's watching college women's basketball. I don't even know what the Indiana Fever's front office thinks about this. They obviously had to have approved this for her to do this. What does that say about them? The more you watch this Fever franchise, the more it becomes evident that it's run like flash in the pan, fly by night dog shit. This franchise is run like shit. All y'all who were so happy about having a new GM and a new president, they're all the same. The only way you can ever judge them is if you win. The only way you can ever judge having a good front office is if you win. Because if you don't win, then they're just not that good, right? You have a very talented roster from last year. Don't know if you're going to have one from this year, for this year. But at the end of the day, we're sitting here looking at a franchise that allows its coach to go commentate women's college basketball when she should be getting prepared for her basketball season. Understand this. This is not a one-day deal. She's been in South Carolina for probably the last 5 days. They played on Saturday. They played a night. She had to have been there for at least a day or two before the first game happened to do interviews and all that stuff that you do pre-game to know the teams that you're going to be covering. So you're not saying 1,001 times. This is the course of the Indiana Fever. This is who's coaching the basketball team. I don't know what y'all think about that, but I think it's a bad look. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.